After I got out of the hospital, I couldn't live by myself. I went, the physical therapy. I was like 8+ years, but one day I was in Georgia at my father's house, and I think she called. No. I was in Georgia, and I stayed up there. Went through several months of therapy. When I found out that I had a house, I live in Jacksonville, Florida. So when I found out that I had a house in Jacksonville, I told my mother I want to go home, and my father was given authority as my legal guardian. So of course my mom's like, well, you gotta talk to your dad. They weren't together. But she's like, okay, you gotta talk to your dad. And when I told him I want to go home, he goes, "You are home." And I said, "No, sir. You said that I had two businesses in Jacksonville. I have a house in Jacksonville." He had three of my vehicles in his yard, and they all had Duval County plates on them. Well, Duval County is Jacksonville, Florida. And so I told him, "No, this is not my home because obviously I was living someplace else." So anyway, he eventually agreed for me to come home, to allow me to come home. My mom, because I couldn't stay by myself. I couldn't walk. I couldn't cook. I couldn't any of that. So she agreed to come down here with me, and she stayed for a while. And the thing was, while I was here, when I first came back to Jacksonville, I got a call from her, and I told her exactly what you said. I don't know who you are. You're a stranger to me. I don't know who you are. And she wanted to like come by and see me. I was like, no, that's not a good idea. And we just kind of ended it there. But
Good.
it's an interesting experience. I'll put it that way. Challenging
Yeah, yeah,
but interesting.
yeah. Like I don't even know the whole situation, but it seems like she was trying to capitalize on the memory loss.
Yeah, because she didn't think. See, I can't really.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to put nothing in your head.
There's nothing there anyway. Hey, I'm so thankful because a lot of times people say something to me and I go, I don't know, I can't remember, and I can say that truthfully. So it's like the what do you call that thing, the oh gosh, what do you call that thing that you turn the knob?
Etch a sketch.
Yeah,
Etch a sketch.
it's like you can just shake it and erase it and start all over.
Uh,
That's my life.
uh,
That's my life. I just
uh.
shake it and start all over.
Like you can forget at a wheel now. That's a superpower.
And honestly, I'm being very honest. There's some things that I can even though I don't remember, but I can recall what I've been told
hmm
and things that I have experienced. I can recall them, but when it's convenient, now this is just between you, me, and the fence post. But when it's convenient, I go, I don't know, I don't remember,
Uh,
and it
that was
works.
gonna be my next
It
question.
works
That was
because
gonna.
they can't argue with me that I remember.
I was going to ask that next before I moved on. Like, now, do you be forgetting on purpose?
Well, that's my secret superpower.
Well, don't let them listen to this when it gets released.
That's gonna be on you.
Oh man, that's funny. That's funny. But yeah, that's wild too. That's wild too. Cause like I said, I be having all kinds of thoughts and all that stuff. Like I embrace my thoughts, unlike a lot of people who are afraid of their thoughts for
Yeah,
some reason.
most people.
Yeah, to me, I look at that as why are you afraid of yourself?
It's who you are.
It's
You know,
like I like to say that I'm not my thoughts. These are just thoughts. It just I don't mind sharing them,
right.
like talking about them, because again, how are we better to understand what it is that we're thinking about and understand anything like a coma here? You know what I'm
Unless you
saying?
explore it.
Just to have a conversation. Yeah, let you explore. Like again, just because you thinking about this don't mean you identify with what it is. That's the part of the imagination of other people about you is.
Well, when you act on your thoughts, when you act on your thoughts, they call you a serial killer.
Yeah, but it's not like you ain't thought about killing before. But have you done it prior this? No, so you're not a serial killer yet.
Well, honestly, honestly, I can't remember if I've ever thought about killing anybody.
look, look, we all thought about killing
Hey,
somebody, but
I may
it all,
have,
but it,
but I can't remember.
oh yeah, of course, but a lot of times comes from even when we played action hero before, even when we kids, we growing up thinking about killing people. We were Rambo at one point in time. Like I wanted to be Rambo. We going around
But see,
we playing Rambo. That's you thinking about killing people. When you watch an action movie, you thought about, oh, I can do that. That's you thinking about doing that to people.
but watch this, watch this, watch this, watch this, watch this. I may have, but I can't remember. See, I told you that's my secret superpower.
Look, we ain't never wish our parents wish we killed our parents, but we wish they would something bad would happen to them all the time when we was little. So just because you think about it, that don't mean you are what it is you think about.
Hey,
It's just
maybe it's a good thing.
think about it.
Maybe it's a good thing I can't remember that part.
Exactly. It's like, hey, that's something you don't want to. Hey, ma, you remember that hammer that was mysteriously over there in the corner in the room? That was me. I dropped it when you woke up.
I'll tell you something. I'll tell you something. Truthfully, my late mother was her name was Marita, but her nickname was Chank.
Mm-hmm.
Shank was maybe 5'3". I could walk up to her and rest my chin on top of her head. But I've got siblings, brothers that are like bodybuilders, and them nor me could you melt and pour on my mom. Never. No. You know. She was one of them southern. She was one of those southern mothers. A look
Mm, uh,
put you in tears.
exactly. Like I just imagined how I was going to feel in the future.
Exactly. I mean, she'd be like, you say something out your face wrong, and she dropped quicker than Clint Eastwood, and she'd be like, go pick up your face. Now go over there and pick up your face.
Yeah, this is great. But I would love to have you come back on for another show, future show. I love conversation. I'm a conversation seeker, and I just love to hear perspectives on everything.
I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm a very philosophical person. I write philosophy. As a matter of fact, on my website, there's a page called Points to Ponder. And something you said just a moment ago about accepting yourself something to the effect of accepting yourself. That was my I call them my points to ponder. On I have Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And every morning I post. I call them my points to ponder. Those are the original philosophical quotes. And today, I think it was something to the effect of the most difficult thing for some people or for most people to do is accept the truth about themselves.
Yeah, that's yeah, that is another one of my theories is that
People know who they are. We know who we are.
people deflect from themselves. Like we don't want to hear about ourselves.
No.
I kind of call it the you don't know me factor. Oh, you don't know me.
Yeah.
You don't know me. Blah blah blah. Well, evidently you don't know yourself since you out here trying to find who you are. So why you
Exactly.
getting mad at somebody if somebody identified a characteristic? Why? Because you know this about yourself. You just don't want to hear it. You deflect from it. You deflect from yourself due to whatever reason you choose to give yourself to deflect from
And that's people's spend more time running from themselves than they do getting in touch with themselves.
Yep.
They don't want to deal with the reality of who they are.
Nope. But I say this often too. It's like it usually comes out when people go to the default emotion, the automatic default emotion, which
Yep.
is by you taking the 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 stance that you just did, the what you call it, the gesture that you just did. I'm assuming you know what that default emotion is. It's anger.
Yeah, of
It's
course.
anger. The default, and like I said, it's automatically. So you go to it subconsciously, and it always triggered, as we say now, triggered from something that you didn't like, versus just
Exactly.
hearing what was just said. Just hear it. You don't have to agree with it. Just hear it.
And you know what? I went through, like I said, I went through a lot. But in 2005, 6, I like I said, I made the decision to not deal with negativity. But
Mhm.
one of the things that I did in my recovery phase, I tore me apart. I took a long, serious, hard look at myself. I tore me apart. Everything I didn't like, I did away with it. Everything
Mhm.
I couldn't change, I had to come to terms with it. So at this point in
Mhm.
my life, since 2005, 6ish, there's nothing you can say or do short of putting your hands on me. There's nothing you can say or do that can get a rise out of me. You can't make me angry. You can't frustrate me. You can't make me feel sad. If I know what to do to pick you up, bring you down, make you happy, make you sad, I control your emotions.
Exactly.
If I control your emotions, I control everything about you.
And that's why America is the way it is, especially Black people in America, because of that, what you just said.
They either on medication, seeing a counselor, in jail, or all the above.
All because of a choice that they did, which was choosing to get mad.
Exactly, and it's a choice.
Choosing.
It is a
That's
choice.
choosing to get mad. If you know better, you do better. To me, that's a retarded saying. That's one of those stupid phrases to me. That's a stupid phrase to me. If you know better, you do better. But here you are choosing to still do.
But see, that's like saying to an alcoholic, "Are you an alcoholic?" You know, if you don't recognize that that's who you are, how are you going to deal with it? How are you going to know to do better if you don't know, if you don't recognize what is better? What is better?
Well, yeah, that too. Yeah, that, yeah, yeah. Yeah, but the way at this point of my thinking on numerous things, like I'm not concreting none of my thoughts. I just lean more towards a lot of them.
Okay.
Especially, but that being said, if you're 25 and older, I'm not accepting the accountability of you don't know better no more.
Mm. Mm.
And like that's to me that is retarding you. At this point, because at 25 you have more than enough sense to know better. Why? Because kids in elementary know better already, which is why they choose to hide what they're
Mm-hmm.
doing. So if a kid in elementary knows better and knows how to manipulate the adult, the 25 and older people, then a 25-year-old absolutely knows better.
You know
All you
that.
have to do is think a little bit.
Well, but see, the one thing you mentioned 25, 25, and my first thought was you're giving them way too much leeway
Oh,
because
I am. I
at
am. I
5
agree
years
with
old,
that.
at 5 years old, you know a child knows better. At 5 years old, he'll hide the candy when you tell him don't get any more candy or don't you can't have any. He'll go get it and he'll hide it
Exactly.
from you. He's got sense enough to
Exactly.
know what to do and what not to do. So at
Exactly.
25, they are 5 times past that.
I am coddling the mess out of you at 20, giving you 25.
Hey,
I'm coddling and that is the issue with civilization. That's how you destroy a civilization, by coddling them.
exactly.
And me giving you the age 25 is most definitely me coddling you, because you not only should you know better, you absolutely know better. You absolutely know. Even the ones who never had who didn't have their parents growing up, or their grandparents, you still know better